Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans, and we have our Week 4 preview coming right up. We got 4 games on 4 different days today, which for this coming week.
Finally, no doubleheader.
No doubleheaders, which is nice. Kind of, it's a bit easier to get each game in and then kind of process each game. And if you want to watch all the post-game stuff and whatnot for each game, and not
also easier to process to travel to each game too, even though I'm not traveling to each game and going to 2 out of 4 games.
If someone was actually insane enough to try to go to every single one of these games, everyone.
I mean, listen, if I
Calgary with their bye week.
I mean, if I had the money, I probably could.
Yeah, fair enough. But let's shall we get right into the first one here, Rick?
Sure.
Instead of swatting the camera away.
No, I wasn't swatting the camera away. I was killing flies. I got 3 for 3. I got 1 more to go.
You need like one of those little tennis racket things that have the wires.
Fly swatters?
No, but there's ones that have wires that when you press a button, it runs electricity through them and it kills them.
Those. Yes, I have those. That's for outside.
Yeah. Just use it.
Those bug zappers.
Yeah. It's got, I think, one.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to zap my monitor.
Electrocutioner or something. I think I saw one. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, those are funky. Yes.
Edmonton versus Winnipeg. Winnipeg with their second home game of the season. Currently sitting 2-0 as they played all of their games against the Lions already, with a good 34-20 win in Week 2, and then a 27-14 win in Game 2. Edmonton, this is going to be their second game of the season as they have also played BC. They played Week 1. They lost 31-14 in a game where they could really just never get that defense going. Or actually, sorry, this is their third game.
Third, I was just going to say.
Yeah, because then Week 3, they lost to Montreal in a close-ish game of 38-28, but it only became close because of the 22 points the Elks got in the fourth quarter there. Montreal dominated the majority of that game before Edmonton. A bit of a splurge kind of in the fourth quarter to see if they could maybe come back in it. And it was just too little too late.
They tried to have a crumback of their own.
But they'll be playing Edmonton. They'll be playing Winnipeg, this week against the Bombers. So before we get into anything, because one of the biggest things we have to look into when it comes to football is injuries. Rick, let's get the injury report. Let's start with the Edmonton Elks.
Well, considering that they only have 1 player on it.
Well, that makes things easy.
And that's their center, David Beard.
Yeah. So change on the offensive line, which means that for them on the depth chart, because this being the Thursday game, we have the depth chart. Corte, number 65, will be their starting center for the offensive line of the Edmonton Elks. We want to appreciate everyone who tuned in actually to one of our most recent videos where we covered the Edmonton Elks with Scout. It was mostly about branding, but we did talk a little bit about the lineup. And he has said that the offensive line, in his opinion, has been one of the problems that the Edmonton Elks have dealt with as of recently. So bringing in a backup at center, we'll have to see how this impacts them as a whole. But let's get into the Winnipeg side of the injury report.
Injuries?
Okay, so a lot more than one there.
Peyton Logan, running back thigh, did not practice. Now keep in mind, Winnipeg only had 1 practice this week. So he's out. Brady Oliveira, shoulder, he's still out. Mike Benson, long snapper hip, he's still out.
Yeah.
Nick Dembski, he has an ankle injury, did not practice, but he's questionable. So I would say if Dembski doesn't go, this next person will definitely play, and that's Dylan Mitchell.
Dylan Mitchell, yep.
Not injury related, full available. Micah Vanderpool, offensive line, not injury related, full available. Jonathan Jones, linebacker, not football related, full. And then Tanner
Schmeckel.
Yep. I wanted just making sure I pronounce that right.
Yep.
Defensive line, not injury related, full available. And that's it for Winnipeg.
So Oh no, not too bad. The only real injury there would be obviously Brady Oliveira for Winnipeg, but then also Nick Dembski if he doesn't end up playing. You'll see a bit of a change there. But at least if I'm looking here at the depth charts released, Dembski again, he is on the Winnipeg depth chart as a game time decision, with your receivers being generally Wheatfall, Clarcius, and then at slot you have Schoen, Dembski, and Stearns. At running back, you got Matthew Peterson as well as Quentin Cooley, who near the end of the last game kind of were played interchangeably. Quentin Cooley had a little bit more success than Matthew Peterson even did, despite Matthew Peterson's very good first game against the Lions. So I expect to see both of these guys get some time probably from the beginning of this game. Offensive line, at left tackle, you got Stanley Bryant, then Wallace, then Kolakowski, Neufeld, and then Randolph out on right tackle. Offensive lines look very, very good for Winnipeg so far. Zach Calero's still in the pocket, your starting quarterback, with Strevler behind him. Again, not a ton of changes here with Jake Thomas and Devin Adams as your two defensive tackles. Vaughters, Jefferson still in their respective spots. With Jonathan Jones injured, doesn't change your starting linebackers with Kyrie Wilson, Tony Jones, and Retta Cramdy. But just kind of changes who your backups are, with Gauthier being your backup at middle linebacker. But for Edmonton here, Edmonton's a team we've talked about in kind of a bit of a strange way, in the sense of that there's a lot of talent on this team, but kind of this is the year, and this is kind of what Scout had said from, if you haven't, check out the Elks Herd. If you're looking for Elks content, really, really great stuff that they do there, Scout, and his wife. They do just a fantastic job covering the Edmonton Elks. And one of the things they're talking about is that the Edmonton Elks are really trying to give Trey Ford kind of his full year of undivided attention, to really set in, is this the future? Is this the starter we need? Or is it just not enough for the CFL? So Trey Ford starting this game. If you're Trey Ford, you're hoping for a little bit more protection up front. Again, change at center. Hopefully it doesn't negatively impact. Although I guess if it's not performing well, there's the potential that maybe if one guy couldn't do it, that someone else can. So we'll have to see. But offensive line is very much a unit as a collective. Even if one guy plays better, if the whole O-line doesn't play well together, it doesn't really matter much. It's just kind of being on a sinking ship and sticking your finger in one hole while the rest of them let the water in. So they need to perform for Edmonton in order to get their offense going. But what should be the strength of this Edmonton Elks team in terms of on paper is this defense. Jared Brinkman, Jake Ceresna, two big defensive tackles, part of the fantastic D-line last year for the Toronto Argonauts that would eventually win the Grey Cup. One of the really key things, there were all sorts of problems for the Bombers, both in that Grey Cup game and especially in their last game at IG Field last year. Which was actually the week that, Rick, you were in town for that game. The Argos D-line that game with Jake Ceresna and Jared Brinkman on it were just an absolute problem for them. So, really good talent at the defensive line. Hasn't been able to be effective as I think the Edmonton Elks have hoped. Nick Anderson, Anderson as well as Morgan and Garnes, it's a decent linebacker core, especially Anderson last year leading the league in defensive tackles, and then got the Rookie of the Year award. He was just brilliant for them. And then with guys like Mechie, and then, of course, the return of Terrell Ford back to Winnipeg, now, though, as a member of the Edmonton Elks. Very reminiscent of Demerio Houston's return to Winnipeg when he was a member of the Calgary Stampeders. So if you're Edmonton here, obviously, you're always looking for a win. But I think more than anything, I think if you're Edmonton, you're looking to get some success out of this defense, limiting Winnipeg, not allowing Winnipeg to get 30 points in this game, and just completely kind of hit you there. You want to be able to get some sacks. You want to be able, if you can get at least a pick or two, or getting some more stoppages, it's going to be really, really key, because with the offensive questions of this team, the defense, which at least from on paper, in my opinion, shouldn't be a question mark, is a question mark right now. And so you're going to want that. But there's talent on this team. You just want to see it going. I think you're going to try to get the running game going a little bit more. Justin Rankin, Javon Leake. You got some talent there. Just need to keep it going. You want the kicking of Blanchard from last game to continue, as that was a pretty bad start for him. But his most recent game certainly was a lot better. So I think if you're an Edmonton Elks fan, you're hoping for that to continue. What do you got on this one, Rick?
I will say if Edmonton gives up anything over 20 points, they're going to lose.
Yeah. No, I
because
do agree with that.
Their both of their games, they've given up over 30 points.
Yeah, no, I think if you're Edmonton, you want to win, but you want to give up for sure less than 30. Ideally less than 20, though. But there needs to be improvement there. For Edmonton, in the sense of at the end of the day, as much as Winnipeg's a strong team and it's easy to be like, wow, we lost, they're a great team. You want to be able to beat good teams. That's what makes teams great. That's what makes teams championship teams. It's not like Edmonton doesn't know what a championship team looks like. They sure as shit do. Look at their history. How
do I put that? So Edmonton and Hamilton, I would say, are kind of similar. Edmonton has the defense. Hamilton has the offense.
In terms
of you have all the high praise.
What's that?
In terms of on paper, and like having this talent but then you need a little bit more execution out of.
But then if you look at Edmonton's offense, it's doo-doo. And then if you look at Hamilton's defense, it's kind of doo-doo. So
yeah. But all in all, is there anything else you got for this one, Rick? To be honest,
the other thing that I was going to mention is the running backs for Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Only have me slight nervous because it's not like an A and like 1A and like a B like you'd have with Oliveira.
It's not a distinct
all the runs.
It's not a distinct starter versus backup. It's more of a 1A.
No, it's just like they split it, and it's just like Edmonton where they split it between Rankin and Leaks. So that's why it's like, yeah.
It's not.
If you play fantasy, don't pick up.
It works fine in terms of as it makes it a little bit harder to study film, in that sense. The area where the one thing I will say though is that I guess it's very similar between these two teams in that regard, but thankfully it's not a situation where I'll put it this way: starting backups. If you look at all four running backs in this game, I don't look at a single one of them and think that is a incapable running back. I think all four of them have proven themselves in different ways.
The other thing that I want to bring up, because I want to get your opinion on it, and it's Bombers related, is I read an article earlier today that says that Wheatfall, I can't remember if it says he's supposed to be the new number 1, or if it was supposed to be number 2.
Like in terms of kind of receivers?
Like the top receiver.
I mean, yeah, he's certainly up there. I don't know. It's kind of difficult to give a distinct number 1.
But I'm just saying, just say he's a number 2 receiver. Okay, does that make Dembski a number 3, or does that make Schoen? You know what I mean? It's like, obviously this guy's rookie. This guy's going to be, a key receiver for you guys going down the road. It's just instead of.
I don't know. It's kind of difficult because again, like
he's probably your guys' new Lawler.
Because you're talking about different styles of receivers here. Because like Dembski is a guy that will sometimes go for that deep ball, but usually not as much. Whereas Wheatfall, that's kind of solely one of the things he goes for, showing a bit more of a deep ball threat. Clarcius, more of a possession threat, although Wheatfall has those capabilities, and so does shown them at time. Funny enough. But, I mean, here, like, different receivers will get a lot more targets in certain games. Because at the end of the day, they're going to look at what the defense is giving them. The offense looks at what the defense is giving them, and at that point, they'll structure their plays. If that means that Wheatfall's the guy they're throwing to because he's open, and whether that's a fault on the Edmonton Elks defense or whatever defense they're going against, or whether that's more Wheatfall's just incredible performance to make himself available, that's what they're going to go with. And so far, that's kind of been one of the things here. Teams are really ganging up on Schoen. They know that Dalton Schoen is a key receiver in this league, and has been absolutely brilliant for the Bombers in the past. And so they're making sure to cover him good. And Wheatfall just he's just been more open for one reason or another. And so I don't really get too caught up in who's the number one, who's the number two, who's the number three. I just think I think I'll put it this way. I think Dembski, Wheatfall, and Schoen are clearly better than Clarcius. Now Clarcius has very much earned his spot as a starter. He has. But I think that those three, it'll depend more on the night. I don't think it's necessarily likely that Clarcius is the guy leading your receivers in a game at like when it comes to the end of the game and leading them in yards. I could be wrong, absolutely. But realistically, it's mostly either going to be Dembski, Wheatfall, or Schoen. I would say probably Dembski a little bit less than maybe in the past, just because he's getting a little bit older, and so other guys are getting a bit more chances. But certainly a capable receiver for the Bombers. Got a touchdown or two even last game. I can't remember.
But that's all I have for this game.
Or at least in the first game, yeah. But no complaints about that. But at the end of the day, I'm going Winnipeg on this one.
That's who I have.
Yeah, I didn't find this game particularly difficult. I mean, obviously, I'm a Bomber fan, but it just with Edmonton, they just kind of got to get their stuff going. They've kind of been like numerous teams in the league so far, just kind of haven't really gotten the wheels spinning, and so we will have to see. Which will bring us to the Friday game. So first game was Thursday, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern time. Then there's the Friday game, which will be the Hamilton Tiger Cats hosting the Montreal Alouettes. This will be 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Now, from my understanding, we have a bit of a mess of injuries, for sure on the Alouettes side of things. I think on the Ticats as well. So let's go through the Alouettes.
Ours aren't as bad.
Yeah, but I mean, like.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the Montreal.
It's not like you guys aren't like Edmonton and have one injury. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
With Montreal, they have Joshua Archibald still dealing with his hamstring. So it's weird because
as well, remember?
Defensive line.
Yep.
So this one is weird only because he was a full practice this week, but he's still out. Usually, if you have a full practice, you're playing. But Dion Ruffin, DB, hamstring limited all week, out. Travis Thesis, running back neck injury, practiced all week, full available. Nick Collender, offensive line foot, did not practice, limited, out. Cyril Hogan St. Don, offensive line knee, full practice all week, available. James Morgan, quarterback, back, full practice all week, available. Davis Alexander, quarterback, hamstring, did not practice all week, questionable. Sean Thomas Erlington, running back, knee, did not practice all week, questionable. Dylan Wynn, defensive line, foot, did not practice all week, out. Austin Mack, wide receiver, hamstring, limited, did not practice, questionable. And then Najee Murray, defensive back, foot, limited, available. So if I was a betting man, I would say Davis Alexander, Sean Thomas Erlington, Dylan Wind, and Austin Mack will not play on Friday. And if Davis Alexander plays, I would be shocked if he does well. Like, if I was Jason Moss, I would keep him out for a week.
Yeah.
to give him that extra bit of rest.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now for the Ticat side, I mean, ours are 4 that are really out, but the rest are available. Suriman Bagago, DB hamstring, limited full available. Daniel Bell, fullback, elbow, did not practice all week. Greg Bell, running back, calf, limited, did not practice, out. Patrick Burke Jr., DB, knee, limited full available. Havari Hassani, offensive line, load management, full and available. Jordan Murray, offensive line, load management, full available. Brandon Leary Orange, wide receiver, ribcage, limited full available.
Yep.
Robert Panabaker, DB hamstring limited all week, out. Reggie Stubblefield, DB knee limited all week, out. And then Jacob Zott, offensive line, load management, full all week, available. Quevian White, DB, load management, full all week, available. And my personal favorite, and yours, making his Ticats debut this week, is my guess, Mr. Drew Wolotarski.
Wally!
Wide receiver, ankle, full all week, available.
Yes, sir.
So not only do you have Brandon Leary Orange coming back this week, you also have Drew Wolotarski.
So, Rick.
Yes, sir.
What do we think here? You're our Ticats. Our Ticats.
I got to bring up my charts because I had to make some changes to it. I'm gonna send this to you just so that you can have
just on Discord.
Kind of. Yeah, just so you have a bit of a look. Again, it's just my thoughts.
Yeah.
So I moved on my sheet. I moved Ward from practice roster to running back with Augustine. So it wouldn't surprise me if you've seen Augustine and Ward as running backs this week.
Yeah.
You have O'Leary Orange and Wolotarski on the right slot back position beside the wide receiver on the right side, Bridges. Other than that, offensive line still remains the same. The only difference between offense this week is Berglund is gone back to practice squad, I would think.
Yep.
And Bell out. Ward in with O'Leary Orange and Wolotarski. As far as defense goes, we actually released one of what was supposed to be the next Simone Lawrence today. Yeah. Depending on who you talk to, some fans are shocked of this. Some fans are not. Kyle Wilson, number 15, got released today.
Yeah.
So it's weird that they do it now instead of
that, right?
Yeah, it's just weird that they do it now instead of last week during the bye week.
Yeah.
And you could have given, the linebacker group more time.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder either they're trying to make room for when Stubblefield returns, or something happened this week that management said, okay, Wilson, we're going to release you.
Yeah.
But if you go over to the Montreal side of things,
yeah.
If Alexander doesn't play, that's a big. I mean, yeah, McLeod Bethel Thompson went 6 for 8, 77 yards last week, but
that's in a pretty limited role.
I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, Montreal has good receivers in that. If you look at McLeod Bethel Thompson's career,
well, even last year, in the sense of
since he left Toronto.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying his career since he left Toronto.
Yeah.
He lost his starter position in Edmonton. He didn't do well in Edmonton. He's only played one game.
Yeah.
Or a quarter, I should say, this year. He's not going to put up 3 touchdowns and 300 plus yards like Davis Alexander would be.
No, he won't.
I'm just trying to think. Running backs, I think they'll be fine. It wouldn't surprise me if you see more of Rambo and Speaker this week with Austin Mack out.
Yeah.
My only nervousness is the defense of Montreal, but anyone is beatable at any time.
Yeah. No, I don't know how I feel about this in the sense of there's kind of the
Would you like me to hear my pick?
Let's hear it.
I'm going off the board and I'm picking my hometown Ticats to win this one.
Yeah, because I mean, Montreal's had that very good start, but again, how much do we know that Davis Alexander isn't playing for sure?
They're saying questionable. I mean, like I said, we'll know tomorrow. Well, we're recording this on Wednesday. We'll know Thursday at about noon when the depth charts come out if Alexander's playing or not. My thing is, you can't prep someone for a week, for that week game, and they have not practiced.
No, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. It seems it's funny. There's a part of me because I'm kind of in the middle on this one, to be honest. There's a part of me kind of leaning Ticats because of that, because of him being questionable. But then with Montreal, again, Montreal is just kind of, they've had that very good start, and so it's also easy to take them for that reason. I think I'm gonna go. You know what? I think I'm gonna go Ticats too. I think especially since I think Ticats are due for a win. I think it's got to come at some point. Obviously,
you know what, though?
Montreal's done really, really well and whatnot, but I don't think that the Ticats are a bad team, and there's a lot of reasons why Davis Alexander doesn't play this game.
Interesting stat. This is gonna blow your mind. So, we're looking at 21 to 24.
Yep.
Going into the bye, Ticats are 1-10 going into the bye.
Okay.
Do you know what they are coming out of the bye?
Where are they coming out of the bye?
9-2.
Okay.
And we just had a bye last week.
Rick, being the asshole that he is, making me do my pick first. And then tell.
What do you mean? I've already said my pick.
No, but I mean, making me do my pick first before saying that awesome record that they have coming out of a bye week.
I just part of me just wants Hamilton to win this week, just so that people stop shitting on Hamilton. Just hey, well,
we got to win, and it's Montreal, and Montreal's good.
But the funny thing, everyone's oh well, Toronto couldn't beat Montreal, but Hamilton beat Montreal. What does that say for... Oh my God. You know what the funny thing is? I was just looking at the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So, both Hamilton and Toronto have both lost to Saskatchewan and Calgary.
Yeah.
Toronto lost to Montreal in week 1. Is history going to repeat itself, and are both East team's going to win or go winless against the same teams.
I don't know, man. I'm taking Hamilton. You're taking Hamilton as well. Which leads us to the third game, BC versus Saskatchewan. Now, Rick, you said that there's a bit of an interest, that this is a bit interesting regarding the injury report for this one, if I'm not mistaken.
So, let me just see what just came across my phone. Where did I see it? So, as of some point today, according to Farhan, Lions QB limited practice splits first team reps with Mazzoli. So
we have no idea who's playing QB here.
Let me go down to the injury report first. So we're gonna start with the BC Lions. So Deshaun Allen, offensive line arm, did not practice Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Stanley Berryhill III, wide receiver thigh limited. Christian Covington thigh limited full. Jackson Finley DB hamstring did not practice Tuesday and Wednesday. Jeremy Lewis linebacker foot did not practice Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Ian Manning, offensive line, load management. Practice full during the week. Carter's like, what the fuck's going on over there?
Everyone's
Marcus.
It's just a
Marcus Moore, offensive line, load management, full. Kieran Passant, wide receiver thigh, did not practice. Nathan Rourke, quarterback, core, limited. Maxime Royer, linebacker, hip, limited. Jashawn Tavi, defensive line, calf, did not practice. Anu Una, offensive line, ankle, full. And then Josh Woods, linebacker, knee, full, did not practice. If we go over to the Saskatchewan side of things.
Yeah.
Albert Awachi, fullback, hip, limited. Sean Bain Jr., wide receiver, knee, did not practice both days. Baldondo, defensive line, hip, limited full. Tevion Campbell, defensive back injury, did not practice and limited. Jack Cohen, quarterback, left hand, full. Peyton Collins, offensive line, knee, did not practice both days. Samuel Emelis, wide receiver, foot, did not practice both days. Trevor Harris, quarterback, had illness, so basically a concussion from that hit from Williams last week. Did not practice both days. Keyshawn Johnson, wide receiver, not injury related, did not practice full.
Yeah.
Tommy Neal, wide receiver, ankle, did not practice. Braydon Knoll, offensive line, head, full. Koshi Onyeka, defensive back, knee, did not practice. And then Monique Straker, linebacker, thigh, did not practice.
Yeah. What's the first thoughts on this one, Rick?
First thoughts, if you want me to be honest, I'm going to go out on the limb. People can believe me, people cannot. I'm saying Rourke does not play, and you're going to see battle of the backups.
Yeah.
Mazzoli and Jake Mayer.
This is the difficult thing about making our video when we do, in the sense of that we do one for all of them, so we have to kind of make our predictions before we.
So it's gonna be interesting.
Who's exactly healthy for those later games in the weekend.
The interesting thing is with BC against Winnipeg last week.
Yeah.
Once it comes up. Come on. Let's go stats. Heck with it. When in doubt, go with your backup plan and go with the score app. I'm pretty sure Mazzoli had 3 interceptions. 2. He had 2 interceptions last week.
Yeah. 3
I don't think Mazzoli, mind you, he did throw 44 times. He did throw 281 yards, so I don't know. I just can't see Mazzoli beating Saskatchewan.
You can see, yeah. Yeah, I don't.
But
I mean,
this is going to be Jake Maier's first game, so we don't know what Maier's going to be like either.
Yeah, and that's kind of the difficult thing is that I think I'd be pretty confident if he was playing Trevor Harris that there really shouldn't be any problems here for Saskatchewan. With Jake Maier, not that there's a ton of problems necessarily, but it's just not everything's solved. I'm kind of torn on this one. There's a part of me kind of thinking, well, BC's got to get a win eventually, right? And that Saskatchewan's got to get a loss eventually. I definitely will be hoping for the Lions in this game. But yeah, I mean, if Nathan Rourke was healthy and we were seeing Nathan Rourke versus Jake Maier, I think I'd actually probably take BC, thinking that will kind of get them to their first win, as he was able to really, really push the deep ball on Winnipeg, even in that first game, and that could be a real threat to Saskatchewan.
There is a however before you make your pick.
Okay.
Keep in mind that I'm assuming Keyshawn Johnson's back this week. You're still missing Amulis and Keyshawn Baker.
Keon Schaefer-Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means Johnson will have a big game. Myers should have a big game. Duncan Bugsby hopefully will have a better game. You need your depth receivers to have a big game if you're going to beat BC Lions.
Yeah, no, I think realistically, I still think that I think that's Saskatchewan probably.
In Carter's heart, he wants BC.
Yep.
To beat Saskatchewan so that Winnipeg can be first.
This is true. But in my mind, I'm thinking that Saskatchewan's probably winning this. So that's what we're going with, Rick.
So you're going with Saskatchewan?
Yeah, I'm going with Saskatchewan. It's that.
No, I don't want directions to Saskatchewan.
I don't think anyone wants directions to Saskatchewan.
1 day and 6 hours.
See, I was making a joke that I don't want to go to Saskatchewan.
No, I don't. Don't start my. Oh my God. Seriously, sometimes Siri, you can be something else. Sometimes pulls up my maps app and tells me you got to go here and here and here for Saskatchewan. I never said I was going on a trip.
Oh my.
Shall we get on to the next game, my friends?
So, we got one more. And this is going to be the most difficult one.
This will be the second game of the week that I will be at.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I'm going to... Me and Connor are driving down Sunday morning. And then we're driving back Sunday night after the game.
Nice.
So it's just a nice little, $50 game.
Commute
go sit behind the Toronto bench and in Ottawa and go from there. So, start with injuries.
Injuries for Toronto first. Let's go with that.
Keep in mind they still have 2 practices Thursday and Friday. So this is all based off of 1 practice. Jack Cesar, linebacker, abductor, did not practice. Darius Sirocco, offensive line, foot, did not practice. Devarius Daniels, wide receiver, hip, full. Sage Dockstader, offensive line, knee, full. Kenneth George Jr., defensive back, knee, did not practice. He's the one that he's on. It's weird because I'm pretty sure they put him on the 6th game, so I'm not sure why he's on the injury report.
Unless he's coming off the 6th game, maybe?
What's that?
Unless he's maybe coming off the 6th game?
Yeah, but why would you put him on? You might as well have just put him on the 1 game.
Oh, like you're saying he's not even on the 1 game. That's strange.
No, he's not even on that. He's on the 6th game. Dylan Giffen, offensive line back, did not practice. Janarian Grant, wide receiver, ankle, limited. Cleaston Haba, defensive line.
Celestin Haba?
Cleston Haba.
Celestin.
I can't believe you messed that up. I was debating just saying Haba, but I'm like, no, I can't disrespect Carter like that.
You interviewed the man, know his name.
Defensive line, load management, full. Chad Kelly, quarterback, leg, limited. Deontay Makmahan, running back, ankle, did not practice. Winston McManus, linebacker, knee, did not practice. And Derek Parrish, defensive line, ankle, did not practice.
So,
on to the Ottawa side.
On Ottawa.
Drew Brown, quarterback, hip, limited. Eric Stargaza, offensive line, head, limited. Zach Palahos, offensive line, foot, did not practice. Sam Carson, offensive line, foot, limited. Nigel Romick, defensive line, abdominal, did not practice. Aiden John, defensive line, knee, did not practice. Kalen Lang, defensive line, calf, limited. Mustafa Algi, defensive line, head, limited. Lucas Cormier, linebacker, ankle, limited. Devon Taylor, linebacker, ankle, did not practice. Adrian Fry, DB, knee, limited. Bennett Williams, DB, shoulder, did not practice. Justin Howell, DB, foot, did not practice. DeAndre Lamont, DB, hamstring, did not practice. Elijah McGee, DB, load management, full. And then Peter Ajay, long snapper, did not practice. You could almost make a starting lineup with both these teams' injuries.
You know this game feels like, Rick?
Heads or tails?
Flip a damn coin.
So Dustin Crum has been taking first reps. Again, it's only 1 day. And Nick Arbuckle has been taking first reps, and it's only been 1 day.
Yeah.
So it's going to be battle of the backups.
So the question is, who do you have more faith in? Arbuckle or Crum?
As much as I don't want to say this, because then it makes them higher in the standings than us if we don't win this week, my heart's saying Ottawa.
Your heart is saying Ottawa? Yeah, no, I think because me and you have talked about how we think the Red Blacks are kind of a better team than what we've seen so far, and they were able to get the win last week. Now, again, they were dealing with some interesting weather conditions, so we're gonna have to see how that was kind of an effect on them, and whether it just Calgary was that hamstringed with VA with that weather, and it really evened things out, or is there more to this Red Blacks team? So we'll have to see. But like with me, as much as because again, like Toronto's got to get a win eventually. And Dinwiddie has that pressure. Thank you to everyone who tuned into our video covering that. It's been doing just
400 views so far. Keep it coming.
It's like 400 views higher than what we're usually like getting. Which is usually around like 70, 80 views on these. We appreciate if you support either of them, any of our content, to be honest. But I just don't know. Is that pressure of him kind of, yelling about his team and yelling about how he expects more from his team? Like, is that going to be able to get them over the hump still without Chad Kelly?
So here's the thing, is they had a better defense last year. And they had Cameron Dukes for the first 9 games.
Yep.
This year, they have a weaker defense. And still no Chad Kelly for who knows how long. And you have Nick Arbuckle. However, I will say this. This is a response to a tweet I got earlier. Let me go to the person's Twitter page. I can't remember where he had. Is it this one? There was something about. I was asking something about the 6th game, and let's see if I liked it. Likes. Did I like it? Of course I did not. Oh, here we go. So it says here, because someone was asking him about why not put Chad Kelly on the 6th game. And Ben Grant says, the advantage of being on 6th game is that you can.
The league pays the salary.
Oh, sorry. The advantage of not being on the 6th game is that you can still practice, which he has been doing. But I do think he'll be back before 6 games are up. But I do think many of us expect him back a few weeks in when we saw he didn't start on the 6th game. So he is basically saying they probably think that he'll be back before 6 games is up, which I'm okay with because then that would be 2 weeks from now. And we would have already played them because we play them next week.
Yeah. So you'll have at least one game under the belt against them.
Let's just say, for discussion's sake,
yeah,
they beat Ottawa this week. They're 1-4. We beat them. They beat us. However you want to look at it. Worst case scenario, they're 2-4, 1-5.
Worst case scenario, or best
even
case
though
scenario, if you're giving that.
What's that?
Well, that would be best.
No, I'm saying like if they beat both us and Ottawa, they'll be 2-3.
Yep.
If they lose either one of the games or both of the games, they can still be in the basement.
Yeah.
At 1-4. Given that there isn't that much of a lead like the West has.
Yep.
I mean, if there is a bit of a gap between 0 points and 4 points like the West has between 3rd and 5th, I could see Toronto, because then you got to go on a big streak to even get in the 3rd. But I mean, when both 3rd and 4th both have 0 points and 2nd only has 2, it's It's hard to say.
Yeah.
So did you do your coin flip?
Did I do my coin flip?
Yeah, to decide.
Oh. I accidentally just flicked it into the light.
Oh, good job.
What was it? Let's take a look. It's Queen Elizabeth. I didn't actually pick anything for heads and tails. Ottawa. Screw it. I don't know. I don't know who I'm taking this week. I don't know.
So
I was able to,
Carter,
to get the win last
week. You know what that means, right?
What does that mean?
That we're either both sinking or we're both swimming with the Sharks this week.
We're all in this together.
Oh, God. High School Musical's theme song.
Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, no, we're... Let's see if we sink or swim, Rick. It's funny. I was gonna take BC. I was gonna take BC when I heard that Harris might not be in, but because I thought that Rourke was looking more likely to be in, but no. But I'll still be cheering for the Lions. But I'm imagining that Saskatchewan probably extends to 4-0. But I think
also
Ottawa can get back to 2-2.
One thing that I will mention this week, even though we haven't mentioned it in any videos, should we dab a little bit of news for the week?
Okay.
Former Blue Bomber Adam Bighill has been signed by Calgary Stampeders and has been placed on their practice squad.
Yes. Yeah. Should we do a video on this, Rick?
Whatever my friend.
Actually, instead of tacking this on with this video, we'll do a short video right now. Which
Fair enough.
Will come out later on the Thursday, the video that this...
After we're done recording this.
Yeah, so...
See, this is what Carter does. Carter just decides things on the fly.
Yeah.
And you just go along with it.
Yeah, well, it works. This is the wonderful...
Whatever. We just do things on the fly.
Well, you know what it is? No, I mean, if anyone's still watching this video, we do this in one take. There's no redo. There is just kind of like, oh,
there's no cuts.
Rick was kicked out of the video. Well, I'll just do this right now. I'm not cutting this and cutting this crap. You'll watch our tech problems, and so we'll get Rick back in here, and then we'll just keep rolling. So, but yeah, we'll have a separate video talking about Adam Bighill. The jersey I'm actually wearing right now. Now going to be over in Stampeder Town. I guess in time for potentially the Stampede Bowl if they actually put him on their main roster.
Oh,
they're on an off week this week, so we'll see. So really, really appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Rick, is there anything else you got?
No, sir.
Also, make sure to check us out on Spotify if you haven't already. Give us 5 stars. We very much appreciate all of the support that you give over there. We should have all of our stuff for the most part. Like some of the short stuff we don't end up putting over on Spotify, but everything 30 minutes or longer should be up there. Which means that Rick, if at some point you could put the Elks video on there, that would be great.
I will do that as we record the next video.
So yeah, if you can, give us 5 stars in there. Very, very much appreciate the support. Comment down below what you guys think your predictions are for this week. Any kind of fun stuff you want to talk about CFL related, we'll be sure to respond to all the comments down below. So peace, love, and positivity to all you wonderful people at home. We will see you guys next time.